What's up, everyone? This is DJ Tall Guy from 90.3 The Core, and I'm here today with Anna Shoemaker.
Hey.
How are you doing today, Anna?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing swell. So, to begin, I think a general fun place to start is, where did you first find yourself becoming a musician? When did you decide that this was the field that you wanted to go into?
I think I always knew, I guess I was really shy when I was young, and I grew up in a really big family. My family's like huge. I have a bunch of aunts and uncles, and I guess I was always kind of jealous that they were all very outspoken and loud, and I kind of never really had a way to have my voice heard, and I always kind of like dreamed of what that would be to be like them and always know what to say, or like always know how to like be like quick or witty or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I remember hearing like, honestly, Sheryl Crow was like the first person I heard that I was like, she can say whatever she wants, but she sounds so good that it doesn't matter. Like she could sing whatever she's feeling and people will sing along because it sounds amazing. And it just like, to me, music just seemed like a way to kind of like get above the noise and be able to express myself in a way that I always dreamed of, being super shy and, awkward and weird.
Like a more potent and punctuating form of communication.
Totally.
Word. So, mention having a large family. You grew up in Philly, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Philly.
And Philly is known, they have like a really good arts community there. Mm-hmm. A lot of like underground basement shows and stuff like that happening. I wanted to ask if you ever participated in any of that while you were there. What if you were in the arts community, what it was like when you were doing that in there?
I just kind of grew up writing songs and going to open mics and stuff like that in Philly, and that's really what I was doing, like a more singer-songwriter kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then I did move back to Philly after I went to college, and I was working with a producer there, and I was working honestly with like a rapper, and I was like doing some features for him and kind of doing a little more of R&B pop, like with them, and I really liked that, and I feel like it kind of taught me a lot about writing and a different style, and I feel like I incorporate that a little bit into my music now, but mostly in Philly when I was making music there, I was doing like open mics and coffee shop kind of things and just writing songs in my bedroom.
Okay. Going off that, writing songs in your bedroom, the first thing that you really got noticed for was your mashup of Kendrick Lamar and Chance the Rapper that I read was written on the floor of your bedroom in your apartment in Philly. And I was wondering, is that still where you write your songs, on the floor of your apartment?
Well, it was at my parents' house. Okay. So I obviously didn't write it. I just like kind of mashed up there.
But that was like your workspace.
Yes, of course. Yeah. I guess I still kind of do. I mean, now it's a little different because I work with, I've been working with producers, and I don't do as much like my process has kind of changed in that I used to write songs, like I would find a guitar chord situation that I liked, or piano, and that's where I would be like in my room and I would kind of write to that. And I still do that sometimes, but now I've really been enjoying like going into the studio with my friend who's a producer, Will, and he'll make a beat or we'll kind of like set the vibe, and then I'll write to what he's working on, and it's really more of a collaborative effort where I write to like his kind of beats and guitar parts, and obviously I have a say in what he does, but I think it's cool to, I don't know, I'm not super good at guitar and I'm not super good at production, and I don't really have an interest in it. So it's cool to like let someone else take that, take the wheel, take the, go with that. And I can really focus on the lyrics and the writing, which is like the most important part to me.
Like having a steady foundation and then build on top of.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. So, moving on, how would you describe your ideal sound with your music? Like, what are you essentially going for, trying to convey?
The most important thing to me is having my words heard. Like I'm just really obsessed with songwriting, and that's what I really try to focus on. My producer that I've been working with the other day, he said, like, he's talking about Amy Winehouse, and she, I guess it only ever took her like she would write a song in like 20 minutes basically. And I kind of feel like the best songs that I write and my favorite songs that I write, they just come out really fast, and that's just kind of like, it's whatever is at the top of my head. And like anything beyond that, like anything I'm pushing for, that's just something I don't really need to say. You know what I mean? So I hope that with my songs, it's just kind of like people are hearing like my raw and honest thoughts, even though they might be like, you know, incriminating.
Just being as raw and as genuine off the cuff as possible.
Yeah, just saying what's on my mind.
And being that it's having that kind of songwriting mentality, it must have been crazy when you first started getting picked up and everything. I know you were noted Steve Madden's Artist of the Year. You were featured on Facebook and Billboard and Alt Nation. And I wanted to ask what it was like going from, like, what that rise was like to where you are now from where you were before.
It just, I mean, it's weird to me because the songs are so personal that it's weird if someone's like, if I'm playing a show and people are singing along and stuff like that, it's just, it feels weird because I'm like, this is just like my thoughts, you know what I mean? So it does kind of freak me out a little bit. It's great because people will say that they really relate to the songs, and I think because I am so honest that it does kind of create like a bit of a community. Like people will slide into my DMs and be like, hey, I really felt that, like I'm going through that too, and it's really great to be able to connect with people on that level, because as I said before, like it's hard to like, you know, get in a deep heart to heart with someone you don't know, but music kind of bridges that connection, like because you can be so honest, but because it's a song, and especially a pop song, it doesn't seem so serious and it doesn't seem so deep. But when you feel something, you can make a real connection, and that's great. That's what I love.
Putting a piece of yourself out there, I imagine it's really rewarding when it connects with someone.
Yeah, so, for sure. It's a little bit, it's definitely validating. You're like, okay, maybe I'm not
someone else found meaning in what I had to say.
Yeah, I'm not like losing my mind.
Right, that's cool. So I wanted to move on to talking about Everything is Embarrassing, upcoming record. So what was your inspiration going into it?
Going into it, I'd had a few songs done. I mean, not fully done, but they were written. And I went down to Nashville and I brought some of those songs. And I was staying in an Airbnb alone down there. And I think I just I was nervous because I didn't have all the songs written and I needed to get them all done with the producer down there. And I only had a few weeks, like about a month. And I think it was just a lot of still figuring out, you know, my life, figuring out how to be a person. I guess that's just always what I'm writing about. It's just like how, you know, how to like navigate emotions, I guess, and how to not freak out all the time.
Emotional intelligence, essentially.
Yeah, I guess so.
Weird. So, is there any track on the album that you're like extra proud of, a favorite track on the album that you're excited to show everyone that might not be out yet?
I think so. It's interesting because I had these 5 songs that I did in Nashville, and one of one of those is called Solo, and I wrote that when I was in my Airbnb, and I was just kind of like feeling really, really anxious, and I was in a relationship at the time, and I think that I had a lot of anxiety because a lot of like how I felt and a lot of what I wanted wasn't lining up with what was actually going on in my life. So I think I wrote that song in kind of like a place of just trying to figure out who I was in a situation that that wasn't me, if that makes sense at all. Absolutely. It was like, and then I got back and I had written all the 5 songs, and I got back and, you know, I had to wait a while to put this stuff out, and I got back in the studio in Brooklyn, and then I wrote the final track on the EP. I was like, we have to put this one on, because I wrote it when I was back here, and I had gotten out of that relationship. I had gotten out of that situation, and it's kind of like me starting over, and it feels to me like a lot of like the last track on the EP feels like where my music is going and where my head is going now. And even though I still don't really know what's going on and what I'm doing, and you know I still have anxiety, it feels like it feels a little bit like closure. So like a bit of a clean slate now.
Closing the door on one thing and the first step into the next.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's awesome. So I wanted to talk about the funny music video.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was a really funny concept, like channel surfing during the alien apocalypse.
Yeah.
I wanted to know why that? Like, where did that idea come from? Channel surfing during the alien apocalypse, when the song is mostly just about like loneliness, being sad on a Saturday night.
Yeah, I think that just kind of, I mean, the director, Luke Rothborn, that was kind of his idea.
Okay.
For me to like start seeing myself in the TV, and then we kind of got the idea of like being stoned, and I think that it was just, yeah, it just kind of like came about. We just wanted a weird thing. This song in general, I think, is about, kind of like, I think it kind of was me like waiting around for someone to change. And in that video, it kind of, I think I was taking back my power a little bit and kind of being like, you know, I'm weird. I am just doing my thing, you know?
It was very much a weird video, but like a fun one to watch. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like all the little things that you threw in, like the news reporters segments and the
yeah, we had so much fun making that.
The Springer nod with the couple and everything.
Yeah,
that was really hysterical.
Yeah.
So now moving on to some bonus round stuff.
Bonus round.
So you were just confirmed for the South by Southwest lineup.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what's your bucket list while you're down there. What are you looking to do? Who are you looking to see?
Tacos, margaritas, dancing the night away. I don't know. I had so much fun last year. I saw a bunch of people that were amazing last year. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, probably my bucket list is to get some tacos, drink some margaritas, hang out with my friends. I have a bunch of friends going down there too, which is going to be really fun. And my band will be down there.
Awesome.
So we're just going to hang out and have a good time.
Sounds like it's going to be a
Yeah.
fun time. What would be a dream venue of yours to play?
I think Red Rocks.
Red Rocks?
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. I want to go there one day, but like the whole concept of a amphitheater built into the side of a mountain.
Yeah, I've been to a bunch of shows there because I went to Boulder, and they were so fun.
All right. Dream touring partner. Like, who would you want to go on tour with, either opening for you, or who would you want to open for?
I would want to open for Lord.
Lord?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Desert Island artist.
Car seat headrest, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How come?
I love his writing, and it's every time I listen to one of his albums, it's like a different experience, and you just get so much out of it all the time. So I feel like if you were on a desert island, you'd want something with, you know, layers, I guess, but also it can be like some of his stuff can just be like, so I don't know. It's smart writing. It's really cool. He's awesome.
Any dream collaborator, someone you'd love to write with?
I would say I love Julia Michaels' writing. I really like her writing. I would love to write with her. Also J. Cole. I love J. Cole.
Both great answers.
Or Meek Mill is amazing.
So I guess final thing, we're at the beginning of a brand new decade, the 20s. I wanted to know what your thoughts are going into this decade as opposed to what they might have been going into the last one. What are your plans? What are your dreams for the next 10 years?
No more fuckboys. 2020. No, I mean, really, I guess just kind of being a little more unapologetic. I feel like, I don't know, it's just kind of a tough position sometimes to be an artist, and I feel like I'm sorry a lot for my feelings. I feel like I'm constantly being sorry for feeling. And I feel like being a little more unapologetic, being a little more just like saying how I feel, and not as much like
worrying about what other people are
think. Tiptoeing around what I want, you know.
Absolutely. Very valid goal.
Yes.
Anyways, thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure interviewing you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure being interviewed by you.
This is DJ Tall Guy from 90.3 The Core, signing out.